Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your continued coverage of the Defense 2 and can all the introductions, because in this game there was no picking and banning phase. Seems either there was an error or we've already skipped, or they did it before and so they just jumped straight into the picks and straight into the draft. There's no picks and bans, so I'm going to have to go through these heroes as rapidly as possible. Power drafting, ladies and gentlemen, we have Fluff and Stuff playing as the Darkseer. We have Leshrac being played by Geo. Oh, don't forget the teams. Don't forget about that. Complexity going up against Hydra. Complexity on the Radiant side with Hydra on the Dire side. We have Complexity TC playing as... Thank you for the pause. This is actually one of the times where the pause is useful because I have to go through everything. There's just too much happening when there is no picks and bans. But nevertheless, Geo, once again, as I said before, playing as that Leshrac. We have TC playing as a Lone Druid. Taking up the role of Tide Hunter, we have Hannah Montana. And last but by no means least, over here on Complexity side, on the rating, we have IX Mike 88 playing as that Shadow Demon. Over on Hydra side, we have Invoker taking up the role being taken up by the Demise. We have Clinks being played by that PowerNet bastard. We have Infinity playing as Windrunner. We have Solitude taking up the role of that Enigma, and last but by no means least, over here on the Hydra side, we have Lua, probably my favorite programming language, being played by, yes, Sand King is playing Lua, ladies and gentlemen. No, Lua is playing as a Sand King, that's how it goes. It's the players that play the heroes, not the heroes playing the players. Christ, I just trip over myself so many times when we don't have the picking and banning phase. It's so horrible, and now I don't have the time to actually think about the setups and thinking, geez, well, which team has a better team composition? Because there's not enough time. I have to cover everything that's going in on the map. But we've got a lot of pushing power to come out of Complexity, as well as ganking power in the form of course, Shadow Demon and Leshrac. Those two are just an absolutely ganking duo. We've got Darkseer we've got a lot of pushing power. Compared to Hydra, we've got a lot of AoE teamfight potential, an awful lot of it, but we have less push, but we have long game. Oh, they have long game too. They have the Lone Druids. Very good towards the later stage of the game. The Clinks is a little bit better though. We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds. First blood might be spilled right here. A couple of right clicks are being dealt with. There's no one here to reinforce and try and do some damage on the SK. We have Darkseer waiting it out in invisibility. No one can see where he is, and it seems we want to get an early first blood here on the Invoker. Iron Shell going down, Split Earth going to follow, and that's an easy peasy first blood on the Invoker. Iron Shell just doing so much damage, he just has to sit next and doesn't even have to try. So Complexity very rapidly picking up first blood there. And then there was a kind of silence as Invoker immediately jumps back. He's going to have a hard time. He's going to have a really hard time going against these two. We've got Leshrac, we've got Shadow Demon, we've got the Disruption. It's going to go into the Split Earth, which means lots of stuns. For lack of a better term, it means an awful lot of stuns. We have Tide Hunter going solo top. This is going to be hard for him as well. He's got the stun to come in from the SK. He's already getting in position. And is the stun going to land? It seems it's not the case. It has been picked up, but they just don't quite have the damage to take down the Tide Hunter. He's a very tanking hero, especially with one in that shell ability. What's it called? Kraken Shell. I thought it might have been called Kraken Shell, but I guess I should have gone with my instincts, ladies and gentlemen. So sad. And this guy's having a hard time. They just can't do the damage that they need to deal right now. But after they get a few levels, that Titan's going to have a bit of a problem, and this just allows Clinks to free farm because he can't contest it. SK is just here to harass him down whenever he gets close. And looking at the creep score, nothing for the Invoker. Even these wards are being taken down, which is going to give him the little bit of insurance that Invoker had in the form of those wards has been taken down. So now he knows that death can roll in at any moment. And it looks like Hydra are looking to gank this poor man who goes by the name of Tide Hunter over in the top lane. We have Enigma in position. Doesn't have that Malefice stun, however, so it won't be as effective, but he doesn't care. However, that Clarity Potion is down there. He does have the Malefice stun, actually. Must have got 2 levels in it. Must have been saving up those levels, and a couple of right clicks can rapidly take down the Tide Hunter, but eating his way through the neutral camp. Neutral's not doing enough damage to try and deny himself right there. And they're currently chasing down. They don't have any form of slow, but the Burrow Strike is to fall, and a couple more right clicks will take him down. In the meantime, did Invoker take another fall? Yep. So, as I said before, this duo right here is so much power. And they really either they need to rotate, or Invoker needs to start putting all of his points into Quas. Because Invoker's just going to have a hell of a time. He's still 1 for 1 on the creep score. Comparing that over to the other members, we're 3 to 2 for the Shadow Demon, and Leshrac is 9 to 6. Meanwhile, 1 for 1. 1 for 1. He has absolutely nothing. In the meantime, we have the Windrunner who's being pushed back that a little bit. Being pushed back, doing harassment on the bear as much as possible, but can't get too close. And once again, Tidehunter's having a bad time. So it seems we're even on the lanes. Tidehunter's having a really bad time. And we've got Invoker having a really bad time. However, Tidehunter, while that you do want to get that Ravage as fast as possible, once that Ravage is up, it's not... I mean, it's not as bad for the Tide as it is for the Invokers, because Invoker wants as many levels as possible. Every single level he gets stronger. Meanwhile, the Tide, once it gets Ravage, he's pretty much good. You know, for the rest of the game, well, towards the later stages, if he's just level 6, he'll die in a second before he can get the Ravage up. And of course, a higher leveled Ravage is beneficial because of more glorious range on that thing. But he's not having as hard of a time in the Invoker, who might get taken down once again. SK coming in to reinforce, however, and it looks like the Invoker's calling out like, help me, I can't take them on my own. And it seems with SK Baby sitting on the Invoker, he should start finally having a reasonable time. However, you still have to be careful. That Disruption followed by the Split Earth can do a lot of damage, and we're seeing it. Split Earth is doing a little bit of harassment right there. No Disruption landed beforehand, however. But now that they know SK's down the bottom, it means that Tidehunter can start harassing a little bit more. He's going to have that bit of insurance knowing that no one's there to kill him. Shadow Demon coming over from the sideline, using a Shadow Poison to get a bit of vision. And once to get that disruption off, however, Leshrack's just not quite in the position he needs to be. And with the fact that there's two heroes, it turns that from an easy gank into something that's a little bit more risky and a little bit more difficult. Tidehunter doing his best to defend against the two up the top, which seem to be pushing as hard as they possibly can. Invoker's creep score has not improved that much, in all honesty. 4 for 4. We do a comparison. Shadow Demon is 3 for 7. And taking Gander over to Leshrack, who's rotating over to the top lane, we have 19 for 7. Invoker not doing a great job. And I really think he should be putting more points in Quas. I mean, you want that X-Sword up for high damage Sunstrikes, but you don't have the Quas, you'll just die. Hang on a second. Is Darkseid jungling? I just noticed I haven't seen him in lane. Is he jungling? I mean, it works, but it just... Darkseid is so much more useful in the lane, in my opinion. You can jungle with him, but you put him top, I think he would have had a much harder time. They would have had a much harder time. But, then again, Tidehunter's performing his role. It's fine, really. I mean, it works out. It's just, I don't feel it's quite optimal. But it doesn't really matter that much. Seemed to have the curse go down, the disruption landed as well, but I'm going to guess the Split Earth didn't follow, or maybe the damage just wasn't enough to make that SK pop. Which is no doubt the desired effect. Looking at the creep score, Clinks is doing a good job actually. He has a very nice amount of farm. Comparing that to the Tidehunter, it's just 6, but Tide's job isn't to get farm, it's just to harass that Clinks. But it's not being particularly successful at that, unfortunately. The damage output on Clinks at this point in the game is just too much. It's too much, and my voice amped up then because we have ganks going to come in, Darkseer, as well as that sprint and the Ion Shell coming in. However, they just got into safety a little bit too soon. Split Earth going to follow, and lots of damage to come in combined with the curse as well as that Ion Shell. But the damage from the tower is just too much for Darkseer to handle, but the Invoker does take a fall, with Darkseer just narrowly escaping death right there. And taking this route is not the wisest, but he wants that double damage. How do you know it was there? I don't even know. But interception could have happened from Hydra from the top lane, however... Darkseid was a lucky individual, and it was not the case. Popping that double damage, they're going to take this opportunity to push the middle tower. They've got a Darkseid with double damage. They've got a lot of pushing to come out. It's a lone SK, and he's screwed, to say the least. They don't even need to use Disruption. We see the Edict doing a nice bit of damage. SK takes a fall very rapidly. In the meantime, Enigma has destroyed a tower. The top tower taking a fall. Looks like we're actually going for a little bit of Sunstrike. Sunstrike! Oh, it hits on the Darkseid, but the damage is not enough. The healing to come in from the bottle, and that Tango just brought him just over the edge. So we've had an even trade, or at least we're about... Oh, maybe we're not even going to have a trade. Now the Edict will probably do the damage that it needs to do. Split Earth to weaken the creep wave ever so slightly. Damage is not enough, however. They have not been able to successfully take down this bottom tower, and they really need to do it. And they really need to harass Clinks, especially when he's pushed himself forward like this. Clinks is just getting free farm. He's getting a lot of it. Again, taking Gander at the last hits. He's 42 to 9. He's got 1800 in the bank. That Orchid Malevolence is going to be up for him relatively soon if he keeps farming at this rate. 40 to 20 for the Lone Druid. He's also doing a fantastic job down the bottom. Comparably good with the Clinks, as a matter of fact. With Windrunner, not being not particularly great, but her job isn't to get as many last hits as possible. Level 6 has been reached for the Tidehunter, however, which means maybe they want to push the issue and secure this middle town. With the middle tower, and with the inclusion of Tidehunter in the mix, with a Ravage, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier than it was before. Just waiting for the opportune moment. Probably waiting for them to push forward just that little bit more. Maybe they're a little bit reluctant because Clinks is missing and Enigma, well, we can assume that he's in the jungle, but when Clinks and Enigma are nowhere to be seen, pushing forward might not be the wisest of ideas, but they do have that Ravage, so maybe it doesn't matter. We'll just have to wait and see. It seems now's the moment. Is the Disruption going to follow? Oh, Shadow Demon's nowhere in sight. He's a bit too far behind to get a Disruption on the Invoker, and SK's coming in a not so great situation. They're both in a very bad situation, but the Ghost Walk goes down to the Ion Shell, and the Dust of Appearance, as well as the Purge and Split Earth take up the kill right there. In comes the Enigma, gets a Malthus stun up, was a bad idea. The Disruption follows, but he is going to successfully escape, and the middle tower has taken a fall, Complexity securing that very rapidly. And SK's thinking, oh, I'm in a bad situation right now. That's not Sand Kane's voice at all. I wasn't trying to imitate. I was just doing a really bad, sort of like a bad Sean Connery. It's like, yes, I see. Okay, I'll stop now. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Clint continuing to get free farm. Has one Oblivion Staff in his hand and a couple of more. One more and something else. Is it just a recipe that you need? Yes, the 2 Oblivion Staffs and a recipe, staves, and he'll be in a very happy place. He'll be in a very happy place. However, they've decided I don't know what that was. They've finally decided to do something about the fact that the Clinks is getting free farm. With the inclusion of this Darkseer, it's going to be very hard for Clinks. And he's immediately, but the dust goes down immediately in the Ravage landing as well, and that is easy peasy. The curse to go down, it isn't even necessary. An easy kill on the Clinks right there. And now Complexity are doing exactly what they need to do. Getting kills on that Clinks. They need to stop him from getting too far ahead because they've gotten too much free farm. They need it to stop right now. I've also forgotten to... We should have one of these open at all times, shouldn't we? I wish there was one that showed items. One that showed items would be absolutely fantastic. But I think current gold's pretty good. Last hits is also pretty good. Last hits are denied. That would be good towards the early stages of the game. Towards the later stages, not total gold, but current gold would be very useful. For the time being, it's a little bit obtrusive. I'm still not sure. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Yes, indeed. This bottom tower getting... No, it's not even getting pushed out at all. It seems they want to push it out by the looks of it. Teleporting, Winrun teleporting her way to top. Currently trying to get a kill on the SK, and a couple right clicks will do it. It's not even necessary. Sprint as well as that glorious Iron Shell, but the healing salve bringing him up just that little bit, and suddenly Clinks out of nowhere. The right click damage is being dealt, and Winrun is securing the kill right there with that glorious but nice Split Earth to come in right there, stopping that Invoker right in tracks with a Sunstrike. However, the metagame is just too strong to come in from the Darkseer. He knows that that Sunstrike is coming, and immediately stops in his tracks, but the power shot is not enough range on that in order to take him down. A nice little victory right there for Hydra, which is what they need to do, because they are, needless to say, a bit behind. The only thing they have going for them is that Clinks right now. And with the gank that was had on him earlier, he's a little bit behind. Taking a look at the gold, 2k advantage for Complexity with experience reflecting that almost perfectly. Another 2k advantage indeed for Complexity. While Clinks is getting plenty of farm, it's not enough. Most definitely not enough. Meantime, the bottom tower took a fall. Was that recent? I don't know. Middle lane has a bit of momentum. It doesn't matter at all. The Shrek is here to take care of business. And 4 points in Edict means towers are going to drop, baby. These illusions not really being utilized to the best of their ability. They're not being used for engagement, so why not place them around the jungle a little bit better? Maybe catch someone out. You'll use them for scouting. Don't just leave them sitting here. Come on, man. This is slack. Regeneration being secured by Geo, even though it's completely unnecessary, but why not? And the Shrek's already working his way towards a BKB. Has that Mithril Hammer and that Ogre Club, just needs a recipe. About 1100 more will do it. And a Smoke Gank, meantime, in the top. They want to get a kill on this Clinks, and they will do it if he pulls himself a bit further ahead. They're not even trying. They might just go around and kill him. And here he is. I think he spotted them. He's rapidly running out of there, but the Dust of Appearance has picked him up, but he's a bit too far away, and the SK is coming in to reinforce, and they do not manage to pick up a kill on him. However, there's quite a force here, and there's not so many of them. They could easily take on the SK. It seems they're going to rotate the middle lane and try and push this out. And I think... oh, they're just going to take this top tower and they'll probably teleport back. With the level 4 Edict, that tower drops so rapidly. And level 4 Edict does 1800 damage. And I'm going to assume a fortification. Fortification is actually off cooldown. Are they going to teleport back or are they going to go for a trade? Well, the trade has technically already happened. Looks like they're going to go for the deny. A nice Ravage to come in. Don't even know where he came from. And Vacuum as well as a Split Earth. Perfect timing right there. And Invoker falls very rapidly with the Edict doing a nice chunk of damage as well. And the entire team of Hydra, we can just see them. They're all grouped together and then they split. They just split. They all go different directions. Immediately split. They took a tower, but they kind of died, and the top tower fell too, and there's a lot of momentum for this top lane as well, and this top tier 2 tower is going to take a little bit of damage, but reinforcements are already here, and Klinks is just going to get a nice little bit of free farm. Already working his way toward that second Oblivion staff. He has 1200 in the bank. They really need to get some kills on him, and already Complexity are thinking, yeah, we need to get some kills on him. Maybe we'll pick up this little sucker in the jungle right now. Definitely wouldn't be too good for him, but SK is here as well. Placing down some counter-warding action going on. Want to keep clear vision. We'll want to make sure that they don't have vision of our jungle. We don't want to get caught out. Plus, they might be denying some jungle creeps. Some jungle cants, some neutral cants, which is definitely beneficial because Klinks loves to eat them. And of course, gain attack damage and HP from it. This is attack damage and HP. Yep, health and damage gain. Yes, indeed. Which makes him pretty nice, actually, because he scales infinitely, essentially. I don't think there's a limit on the amount he can gain from eating creeps. Complexity are looking like they're thinking we could maybe push mid. Because I've just destroying whatever it was probably a tango or something, probably something unnecessary. But I feel going into the jungle and getting a kill on the Klinks would be probably their best bet. The best thing that they could possibly do. How are we looking at farm for the Lone Druid, as a matter of fact? He's just bought something. Sacred Relic is in hand. Do we have a Radiance? Radiance recipe? No, BKB has been achieved by the Leshrac, and that's going to be a lot of extra damage, a lot of extra unstoppable damage to come out of that Leshrac. It's going to be very powerful in the next team fight. Tidehunter working towards a mech. Black Hole coming in, catching out, but the disruption follows immediately, stopping it right in its track. The Cold Snap to land on the Lone Druid, but he's got too much tankability. He's not going to be taken down. Is the Burrow Strike going to follow? Yes, it does. And the Sunstrike going to land as well, but Entangle on the SK, managing to get away from that Burrow Strike. I mean, from the Sunstrike, and SK taking a fall. The tides have turned, and I bet Invoker's thinking, God, I wish I had that Sunstrike. Wish I had that Sunstrike. And then they're now giving him some chase. He has a Ghost Walk ready to pop. However, Dust is most likely in hand for whenever it does happen. And he probably knows that. The Split Earth to come down. He doesn't even get the opportunity. Tidehunter taking up a double kill right there. Picking up the Invoker. And, of course, the SK. And asking for a pause right now. Seems something has happened. I'm not sure what it is, but irregardless, I hope the pause doesn't go on for too long. In the meantime, let's take a look at the items that everyone has achieved. Invoker looking like he's working towards a, what do you call it, a 4-staff? Yes, indeed. Klinks having a second Oblivion staff in hand, getting very close to that Orchid Malevolence. Windrunner not really having anything. She doesn't really need it. Enigma having that Blink Dagger. However, with no BKB, there's a lot of disables coming from Complexity. We have, of course, the Vacuum, we have Split Earth, we have Ravage, and we have Disruption. So 4 out of 5 members can stop the Black Hole. And a Blink to Black Hole is not very useful unless you catch out everyone. If you don't catch out everyone, you're going to get stunned, and the Black Hole is going to be cancelled. Every single person can do it, unless you catch out everyone but Lone Druid. Which would be pretty funny. Pretty lucky. Orchid Malevolence is now in hand, and Invisibility just to make things even better. Although he has Invisibility of his own, so it's really not that helpful. But I guess it's nice. The double damage would have been beneficial. Preferable, rather. So back to looking at items. That's right, we've got all the way down to the SK, who has pretty much nothing. And Complexity are going to push out this bottom tower, and it is going to take a fall. The team of Hydra are scattered all over the place. They're in absolutely no situation to defend this.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And the mech has just been secured there by the Tidehunter. It's going to give them even extra staying power. And it looks like we're working towards a pipe. Hood of Defiance almost being in hand for the Darkseer, and of course a pipe's going to follow from that, logically. But reinforcements have finally arrived. They've taken a little bit too long to take down the tier 2 tower. However, is there much that Hydra can do about it? I don't think so. This tower's going to fall. The Edict doing an awful lot of damage, and the tier 2 tower over the bottom lane takes a fall. And they're going to take this opportunity to rotate to the mid, because the team of Hydras just seems scattered all over the place. We have Clinks just continuing to farm at top, not giving a toss at all. Enigma lurking it out in the jungle, once again still farming. SK is the sole defender of this middle tower, and he's not going to form well against these the adversaries that are now bearing down on the walls of Hydra's base. Invoker coming in as well to join the fray, and Windrunner's just going to sit down here in the bottom lane, give it a little bit of momentum. However, momentum not going to be helpful because this middle tower is, it's going to take a fall. And Complexity is sitting back, they're thinking, where the hell is Hydra? They let us take the bottom. Are they really going to let us take the mid? And now they're thinking, okay, let's not question it. Edict's going down, a lot of damage to be dealt. Split Earth as well as a Gush. Anchor Smash rather. The creep wave gets eliminated, and the tower falls as well. Easy peasy. In the meantime, over in the top, we have two engagements going on. Lone Druid taking a fall, but over in the mid, I heard a vacuum. Here we have the Darkseid chasing after. The Purge is going down, as well as a Curse, a Shackle, but it doesn't latch. Absolutely need that. The Mech Charge to go out, but it doesn't matter at all. Windrunner taking a fall right there. Probably beneficial, because they got a kill on that Lone Druid, which of course delayed that. Bought the Radiance. So it actually didn't delay the Radiance. It is now just waiting to be delivered. And this tier 3 tower is going to fall. That Edict is doing so much damage. And Enigma wants the perfect opportunity to black hole. It seems the tier 3 tower just barely survives. Very low in HP. One more push will secure the victory. Secure the kill, rather. Sankin pushing out this bottom lane has a nice bit of momentum. This bottom tower will take a fall, but I think it will be a worthy trade. However, Darkseid wanting to come in from the top and get an easy kill on the SK. However, he is a wise man. He's hiding it out in the bushes. He doesn't want to get caught out. He knows that they've disappeared from mid. They're probably coming for me, so let's just leave. Bear's TPing in, has a Radiance on him as well, which means these lanes are going to get pushed back hard. As if Complexity didn't have enough pushing power. And this is just how Dota works right now. The team with the most pushes is the victor, for the most part, unless you can get to the stage where Yukari has a lot of farm and just can kill everyone. But considering they're 3 to 11, they definitely don't have the farm. While Clinks does have that Orchid, that's it. And I think most of Complexity are too strong to be bursted down by that Orchid. Actually, there are a few that can. However, they're sticking together. They're not wandering off alone. And no one's going to get caught out by this. And Clinks probably, well, it doesn't matter. Sorry, I lost my train of thought right there. Someone just messaged me begging for games, and it's like, no. God damn it. I didn't even bother to respond, I just read it. But nevertheless, disregard everything, back to what's happening in the game. The items in hand, are we going to go for Leshrac? Leshrac? Rashawn. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. Like, hang on, that didn't sound right. Oh yeah, I got the names wrong. Leshrac's working his way towards a Bloodstone. We have the pipe already in hand for the Darkseid. I'm going to be pushed out this middle lane, and there is nothing that Hydra can do about this. Seriously, the Bear, they've got so much AoE damage, they've got so much push damage. We've got the Bear with the Radiance, we've got the Ravage, the pipe's going down as well, so the Black Hole will be ineffective if it does land. Power shot to go down. The tower does take a full Malphus stun going down. They don't care in the slightest. Enigma wants to get the good situation with Black Hole, and he could actually. They're all sort of bunched together, but they rapidly split apart. A blink to Black Hole would have been perfect. I have no idea why it didn't come out. I guess the Bear stood back and would be capable of bursting him down. Vacuum going down, a Ravage, and a forced off at the perfect time. The Ravage picking up nobody, and a fantastic Shackle. The Bear to that poor Leshrac with a disruption to save the day right there. And SK currently on the run, but ultimately fine. And the melee barracks has been fallen, and they've gone, well, we're happy with that. Let's just back off. It's not as beneficial of a situation as I would have desired, but you can't help but be happy with that. I'm somewhat more surprised they're not rotating to the top. There is still a tier 2 tower standing, and it is easy gold. But they go against my judgment. From the strange trees. Is he going... Wait, he's going for Aghanims? Oh, it is upgradable by Aghanims, I didn't actually know that. So it seems we're not going for that point booster into a soul booster, which of course goes into a Bloodstone. We're going to go straight for Aghanims on the Leshrac. As we have the glorious sounds of dead air, we can see unification by Complexity over in the bottom lane. They want to push out this bottom lane as hard as possible. I think I see what they were doing. I think Hydra... It seems pretty obvious to push down the tier 2 tower since it's the only one standing, and this caused Hydra to rotate around that top area, using Darkseid to scout it out. I'm guessing this is just a little bit of insurance to make sure that everyone is indeed here. They're just hiding it out, making sure defense isn't about to roll around. But we do have 3 members sitting it back in the base. Of course, they have to, because Death can roll in at any moment. Death, of course, being the form of taking down another barracks and possibly these 2 towers. It looks like Hydra, it looks like Complexity don't know what they're going to do. They're actually going to go for Rashawn. Why not? It seems like a pretty good pickup. Sunstrike going to check, and they do see, uh-oh, that's where the team of Complexity is. They're doing Rashawn, and Hydra can't really do anything about it, which is just downright unfortunate. Yes, indeed, Rashawn has fallen. The Aegis of the Immortal has been secured by the Bear, with Leshrac just being 500 away from the Aghanim Scepter, and once he gets that, combined with the BKB, it's a lot of AoE damage. That is nigh unstoppable. Although, Enigma, I forgot about him. Of course, Enigma's Black Hole goes through the BKB, but the damage would still be dealt. The damage would still be being dealt. I didn't think that through, did I? Pipes going down. Ion Shell as well as the Radiance. That's a lot of damage to the next creep wave that moves in, but a nice Shackle to come in. It's not going to help out much, however. You can see the creep wave just melting right now. Vacuum going down, the Split Earth going to land as well. Invoker, is he going to move in? No, he is not. But a nice Black Hole to come in from the Enigma, catching out 2 of the heroes. No stun to land, however, the Disruption is on cooldown. Sunstrike going to go down as well as the Wall to land as well. Ravage following that, and an Epicenter, but the SK gets taken down very rapidly, and Split Earth picking up the kill there on the Invoker, with the Enigma taking a fall following that, trying to burst down that bear, but it's not enough, and it gets recreated anyway, and the entire team of Hydra, with the exception of that SK, has fallen, and the GGs are going out. They're leaving the game. I think they're giving up on the defense part because there is very little that they can do. And while there is a time rating thing, I know Ham Sandwich or someone from joinDOTA is going to be like, God damn it, stop leaving before the game is properly ended. Here we go. I'm sick of this. Ah. Yeah, they're really sick of it. It's kind of funny because it happens every single game. Every single game. Like, stop leaving. The time ranking's important. Of course, the time ranking being that the longer it takes for your base to get destroyed, or the quicker you destroy the enemy's base, all ties into if there is a tiebreaker. The person with the better time ranking will move on ahead. Which I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, but I can still see them getting really frustrated. That's like, stop doing it! God, I wish you would discontinue to leave before the game is probably ended. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Complexity versus Hydra, with Complexity very rapidly taking up the kill. 25 minutes in, and victory has already been secured, of course, by Complexity, which I said about 3 times. You also would have seen it, Radiant victory, with Complexity being on the Radiant side. It, of course, means that they secured the win. So, in case you haven't figured it out, Complexity won. Just need to make sure everyone that's watching has figured that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Toshley. This has been The Defense 2, the-defense.com for everything you need to know about it. And don't forget, joinDOTA.com for all sorts of glorious Dota 2 goodness. And last but by no means least, a special shout out for Razor and BenQ for being the sponsors of this €10,000 tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Toshley. I'll see you next time.